Okay, so I wanted to make a little video about the research project number one to kind of walk you through what to do or my expectations for this assignment. It's really simple one, honestly. I mean, it's simple to do, but it's important because the research project is going to be with us for the rest of the semester, and we're just getting it started now, right? So you're going to eventually run an analysis on data, and you're going to do a presentation of your findings for the class, right? That's the final step. But before we get there, we got to create the project. So that's the first step here. And so what I want you to do is if you go into project and exam within this module for this week, and you click on research project number one, it'll open up this discussion assignment. And what I want you to do is you're going to find this battery of scales down here at the bottom. And that just means battery of scales. That means it's a collection of surveys. So each survey is a different topic or a different variable that I've collected from classes in the past, right? A lot of them are like attitude and opinion surveys. And then there's some personality surveys in there as well. And what I want you to do is pick two of them. And if you look at the battery of scales, if you click on that, it'll take you to a Word document. So if you look in the Word doc, you can see, here we go, a table of contents. So you don't necessarily even need to look at the scale. I certainly don't want you to complete it. You don't have to collect this data. I've already collected it for you. But I want you to look at the scale and look at the things that are on here, the different topics, and then you can pick and choose any two that you think are related to each other somehow, right? So we have some attitude scales like attitudes toward gays and lesbians, and we got some personality ones like need for cognition, need for closure. And if you want like a brief description of each scale, I included it on this document so that you could make an informed hypothesis. Um, I mean, you could just go in at random and go, okay, I'm just going to, whatever they are, I'm going to pick number 5 and number 7, and I'm going to go with those scales. You could do that, but I'd rather you look through the scales and decide if it's interesting to you. So, like for this first one, right, you got a little description and a citation for the scale, so you can tell I'm not just making them up, right? Um, so this whole scale, let's see, it can be used as two scales, one for attitudes toward lesbians and one for attitudes toward gay males. And then you have to reverse score a couple of these questions, but you don't have to do any of that because I already did it for you. But it's basically looks like this, right? It's an attitude scale. Stating their participants would state to what extent they agree or disagree with all of these statements. So you don't have to do any of that. I just want you to see what the scale looks like. So don't overthink it. You don't actually have to carry it out. But I just wanted to show you what a couple of them look like. So if you want to look up information about these scales, you can do so, right? So all you have to do for this assignment, we'll scroll back up, is select two of these items on the table of contents that you think are related. So I'm just going to say I'll look at the UCLA loneliness scale and empathy scale. So maybe I think loneliness and empathy are related somehow. Okay. So then all you have to do for the assignment is state your hypothesis about, your prediction of how those are related to each other. And on this first step, that's really all you have to do. Say, okay, I'm picking these two items. But remember, it's easy to do this. It's easy to get the points for this week. But it's an important one because you're going to revisit this topic again and again throughout the course until you have your final project. So my advice is pick two of them that you think are actually interesting to you. I mean, you can, of course, just get the project done if that's your kind of mindset. But I would suggest you pick two you think are interesting to you, since you're gonna live with it for weeks, right? So pick two you think are interesting and that you think your two variables are related, and go down here in the reply and tell me which two you chose and how you think they're related to each other, right? You think there's a correlation there? You think one causes the other? I don't know. It's up to you, right? What is your prediction? And then once enough people have posted, I want you to go and comment on the predictions of two other classmates of yours. So don't overthink this one. Maybe I gave you too much information by giving you the whole actual survey itself, but all you really need is the topics from the table of contents for this first one. Okay, so that's all I'm asking of you. Nothing crazy for project number one. Get to it and spend the rest of this week focusing on exam number one. All right, good luck.